Welcome back to Talking Comics, the Heroes and Villains. I'm Eric, and this is
Arnie?
and this is Supercrooks, which Arnie picked out today, and I was excited about.
Well, it was your recommendation.
Well, I like good stuff. Everyone who watches this knows that I like amazing things. My opinion is infallible. I'm really classic.
You picked out Secret Service last
Ooh,
week.
that's true. That's not true. I lied to you just now. This is good though. Same
Well, yeah,
author.
we're redeeming ourselves.
And so is Mark Miller, the guy who wrote it.
So.
Yeah. So you should start.
Yeah, well, today actually it was a 2-for-1 because I read the first one.
Because you're behind.
Because I'm behind.
Yeah.
And the second one. And it felt like I was watching a movie.
What does that even mean? I hate when people say that. I felt like you were reading a comic book. That's what it felt
it
like.
was very theatrical.
What does that mean? Were there moving pictures on it?
No,
Was Brad Pitt in there?
No, it felt, I don't know, it was a very theatrical experience.
What does that mean?
Like I was at the movies.
What does that mean? Though? Was it dark around you? Were people yelling at you and popcorn?
It was just,
Was it a good story?
I didn't feel like I was reading a book.
Why?
Or a comic
So was
book.
someone reading it to you?
No, it was really fluid.
Yeah, like a good comic should be.
Yeah.
Screw movies.
Yeah.
This comic is amazing.
I didn't see the jumps, if that makes any sense, from panel to panel.
It does. It's very good storytelling. Yeah. Who drew it actually? Who made you feel that way?
Lionel Francis Yu.
Yeah, I love that man.
Yeah.
I've had two of his work. He's super good.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, he's amazing. It's a story. It's a superhero story, which is really cool. But because it sort of has a crime bent to it, it's not just about like superheroes thrown down. It's not about that at all, really.
Living condition.
To just destroy it. The basic premise is that we're following these villains and how crappy their life is because the heroes keep them down. The heroes are like the man.
Because they can never beat the heroes.
Yeah, because they're perfect
Yeah.
and violent and allowed to be crazily violent towards the villains, and like our culture accepts that.
Yeah, it takes the basic superhero premise that the hero always wins.
Yeah.
And basically applies it to make a story out of it.
It's a very noir kind of
Yeah.
idea where the bad guys are like we're kind of rooting for them because the odds are against them.
Yeah, because they never win. They're always being
Yeah.
put down. They're always being incarcerated.
And the cops are corrupt and they allow it to happen. Like Jim Gordon in Batman, he lets this crazy rich guy beat up junkies at night because it makes his job easier. And it takes that kind of bend to it. It's really, really good.
And it sees it from the perspective of the guys getting beat up.
Who are just trying to like eke out a living.
Yeah.
So, like high school dropouts that have like a drug problem trying to squeak by, and then a guy in an iron suit just punches them in the throat till they can't move anymore.
Yeah.
It's so good. And by the end of the first issue, they resolve to leave America because America has so many superheroes. Every block has its own like Captain Broadway.
So somebody finally has the great idea to go commit a crime where there's no superheroes.
In Spain, yeah.
It took them that long.
Well, they don't want to leave their turf. There's war and there's pride, but finally they're done getting their legs snapped by these like Ubermen. So they're going to Spain. We don't know what the crime is in the first issue.
They're gonna pull off a heist.
Yeah, and we find out that it's against another criminal. So it's
Yeah, that's an issue too, though.
Yeah. So it's really high stakes, high concept. They're fighting this Kingpin-esque villain.
Yeah. Called the Bastard.
The Bastard.
I really loved how they blackmailed the main Batman type
superhero.
superhero.
It's so good.
It was great.
It's so
and it
good.
was so relevant to Arizona too.
There's this very like staunch moral Republican sort of like Captain America, Batman-esque hero.
Yeah, he's like a mixture of the two.
Who his sexuality doesn't really jive with his message.
Well, we don't know that until the second issue. He's married and he has kids and he's the pillar of morality.
Of like good old Christian values.
And he's on the news because he takes down all these criminals and puts them away and can do no wrong.
But he likes like violent encounters with young men.
He likes to meet what were the words? He likes to meet young men in exotic places and bump uglies with them.
And he's sort of like a creepy BDSM kind of guy too.
Yeah,
and
he sends them R-rated pictures, very much like Sheriff Babu of Arizona. The pillar of morality. And he gets blackmailed into helping them pull off this heist.
It's so good
because he doesn't want his image being tarnished.
So there's this superhero that's helping these villains who's like pinkies he snaps on a regular basis for information. But he's like trying to help them now to clear his name with
he put them all in jail, so this makes it very perfect.
And this is their payback. It's an excellent kind of like buddy cop dynamic. I can't find anything wrong with the book. It's so good. I love superheroes. That's what I grew up on. I love the kind of adult like cynical take that Mark Miller takes with it. But it's not so. It's funny. Like it's self-referential.
It's kind of like a dark comedy, but he also does something that Mark Miller does very, very well in all the other books. he infuses it with like current events and political commentary.
Yes, it's relevant. Yeah, he's so good, and it's a thing that you can't do in a movie because it's superheroes with like creepy sex in it and violent crime in it, and it's not like people hear the superhero genre and they think a certain thing, like it's for kids.
They did it in Kick-Ass.
And this isn't, but also by Mark Miller.
Right.
So he's the only guy with a chutzpah to kind of do stories like this right now.
I think he's an excellent writer for movies.
Amazing. Yeah.
But comics can get made easier and cheaper.
Yeah.
So there's not so much studio politics,
good.
but it's a great book.
An amazing comic. Francis Lennell Yu is like even better than Miller. Like I'll read anything that guy draws. I don't usually follow artists because I like to write and I like writers. Yeah. I'll read anything that Yu draws. It's always good. He always makes it so much better than it was written.
Yeah, that guy.
That's amazing.
I haven't read anything bad by him.
Yeah, Birthright, Superman Birthright is my jam.
Everything he's touched with his pencil. Wow, that sounds dirty. Has been phenomenal. Everything he's ever drawn has been really good.
Like Secret Invasion, he saved that book for me.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing.
Pulled it out of the crapper, basically.
And made it awesome.
Yeah. Ultimates, Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk, or Ultimate.
Yeah, he did that too. Yeah.
I waited like 3 years for that book to be finished just because it was him drawing.
And like Arnie said, he the storytelling is so solid, it just flows.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't like static images. Like comics are like posters sometimes. They're just like pinups, like series of poses, like Rob Liefeld. This is it's really good storytelling. His faces are amazing. Yeah. It's there's nothing not great about this book. You should buy it. If you don't like it, you're wrong. I can prove it with like graphs and math.
I have to agree with him. I felt like that last week when we were reading Secret Service. Like every panel was separate.
Yeah.
So it just seemed very stagnant.
He's a great illustrator, but he's not a good storyteller. And this guy is.
Yeah,
so
this guy's
check it out. Let us know what you think, so we can think that you're cool and be in our club. And what's our Facebook?
Heroes and Villains
Tucson. Yeah, or Twitter, which is HNV Comics.
Tucson at the end.
If you don't put Tucson, it's like a country western band called Heroes and Villains.
Yeah, I remember them there too.
Yeah, alright, so check it out. Go steal stuff.